Well, guten Abend, mein Pfeifenfreunds. Alles klar mit Ihnen? Ich hoffe. Well, it is I, the Holy Smoking Pipe Padre, wishing all of you a very happy Easter. The Lord is risen. He is risen indeed. Alleluia. And I'm back. Yes, I'm back, Pipe Pals. Did you miss me? Wow. Well, we just got through. I got through with the Easter services. Late this morning, we had the vigil last night of Easter. And went to bed, got up at 5 o'clock, made some breakfast for my pastor. And went off and said the 7 and the 9. And just absolutely a beautiful, beautiful Easter Sunday morning. Oh boy. Yep. Oh well. So, I hope you're having a wonderful Easter Sunday. I am smoking. I'm kind of staying with this skinny pipe. I'm going to call it my skinny pipe. What is it? I'm smoking some Burberry. And this was sent to me by Tomisius Puffendorf a year or so ago. And I continue to enjoy it. It reminds me, the fragrance of this tobacco reminds me very much of a tobacco my brother used to bring home when he would come home for Christmas and Easter vacation. And it's very similar to a tobacco, at least in fragrance, that he once had many, 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 many years ago. And I thought, Easter is a time of real celebration. And of course, smoking your pipe anytime is a nice thing to celebrate, but especially on Easter. So it's a very rare tobacco, and it was sent to me as a wonderful gift. So it's just something I kind of cherish, and it's one of those things that I don't smoke certainly on a daily basis, but I do enjoy it on special occasions. And certainly I think most of you would agree that Easter is indeed a special occasion because he is risen indeed. Okay. Now I got a little cup of coffee here, of course. All right. Well, in addition to celebrating Easter, I'm also celebrating my 7th week in my 10-week program, 70 days, 69 days TSC Heart of a Champion Challenge, to try to get lean and fit and stronger. Fit, fast, strong, all-natural athlete. And following the Chris Kruger My Six Pack Life program, again the TSC Heart of a Champion program. And this, my friends, is week 7. Kind of an appropriate week for Easter. Easter we consider the culmination, the perfect resolution to the humanity problem. And 7 is the perfect is a perfect number, at least that's certainly a prime number. So anyway, 7 is kind of always seen as kind of a very special holy number. So this is week 7 of 10 weeks, and I'm just going to share with you. I'm going to put my videos up here wherever I put them. They're going to just show up right now. And got to tell you, again, I think I shared with you last week that I was having some difficulties. Boy, I got these white pants on for Easter, and unfortunately I got some charred tobacco. I don't think I put any holes in them, but they're brand new pants, folks, and I just got them all soiled with pipe ash. Oh well, it's no big deal. So put the videos up if they haven't already played. I'll play them again maybe. But last week I got a little hurt after doing lunges. I think I pulled a groin muscle, which was painful. Well, I know. I'll give you give me some cheese, and I'll keep my and we can use the wine there. Would you like a little cheese with that wine, I should say. But this week I also, in addition to having that pulled groin or whatever it was, hip flexor muscle or something, was causing me some problems. But I still Okay, I'm going to see if I can go back and check my settings again. Sorry about that if I went blank on you. Let me just quickly do this. I haven't been using my computer for the last week. In fact, my internet has been down for about a day and a half. It just came back up yesterday. So just little life's problems, you know, little things that we encounter in our daily busy lives. Anyway, so and this week I also got a really bad cold. I was pretty sick as of Tuesday until probably Friday night. And also, in addition to that, we had Holy Week. And so there were all these evening services, Holy Thursday, Good Friday. We had 2 services on Good Friday. Of course, last night was Easter, Holy Saturday, Vigil of Easter. So I really had to be pretty creative, and I had to be really proactive on how I was going to do the TSC 300 challenge. I was able to do it. I did the run about a half a day early. And I was taking some cold medicine, and I have to tell you, my run time was terrible. It was terrible. I wish I knew what I did wrong, but I added 30 seconds or 34 seconds to the run time, so the run time just went down. But I am happy to say that the pull-ups went up by 1, and I actually finally got to the max of 50 push-ups, and you can see me. Probably I'll put the video back up there. Struggling to get 50, but I was able to gut out 50 push-ups. So that's a record for me, and I'm really excited about that because when I was in the Marine Corps 40 years ago, or almost 40 years ago, I can't remember now. It's either 40 or 30. Anyway, a long time ago. Let's just say early Devonian period. The most I ever did, and I think the max was 20 or 21, and the most I could ever do was 16, and that was on my very final PT test. And I gutted those out. In fact, if I remember correctly, the guy they would have a guide so you couldn't kick or kip, whatever they call it. I guess they call it kipping. Where you get that momentum going, do that sway thing, and I kind of have a little bit of that in my form still, but not as bad as I used to. It's kind of hard to do that too. It's not as easy to do it on the pull-up bar that I have. So, but anyway, the bottom line was that I remember the guy he was a big, strong guy, and he kind of helped me up a little bit, towards the last 2. I remember that he kind of like, hey, it's like a big, strong guy, and he kind of like. He didn't lift me up, but there was enough, he was able to kind of, guide me up a little bit. So I got 2 extra, so I should have done 14, honestly, but, with his help, a little clandestine help there, it wasn't expecting, I got 16. So that was about the most I ever did, and that was, a long time ago. Well, now I did 17 yesterday, and I'm really excited about that, as well as doing the 50 push-ups all at once. So really excited about those 2 events. I'll be honest with you. If you go and look at my six-pack life, you'll see that obviously this is a young man who was out of shape and, was able to get six-pack abs and, get into tremendous shape. And I certainly realize that realistically that's not going to be me at the end of 10 weeks. Instead of having six-pack abs, I'm going to have six-pack sags. There is some definition, and hopefully on the 10th week I'll show you at least some progress. There, again, the strength itself, I think, says more for me that I'm able to even do this now, run 3 miles and do all that stuff. But the goal to looking like I'm, a sports model, is probably obviously unrealistic, but at least I will have a reasonably flat stomach, my body mass, my body weight, my body fat index is going down. It's almost about at 20%. Now they say for a guy, you start showing true definition when you get around between 8 and 12% body fat. I'm 174 pounds this weekend. And I started, of course, 13 months ago. It was 270. So I'm down to 174. So I'm pretty close to hitting that century mark when it comes to losing weight. Again, not losing weight, but burning fat now, because that's all I got left to do is just burn fat. And I'm not trying to lose weight per se. But anyway, so that's my results, my accountability there. You know, I hope you guys are having a great Easter Sunday with your family and friends. And to be very, candid with you, this is a day I am going to enjoy feasting and eating and enjoying good food. I've made some homemade lasagnas that I'm taking to some dear friends in a little while. I don't know what they're serving, but I know it's going to be fantastic. And today is going to be one of those days. It's more and more rare that I do this, but it's going to be a day where I'm not going to worry about the calories. I'm not going to worry about the goodies. I'm going to enjoy. Now, coming back tomorrow morning and getting up and, doing my exercises. Again, tomorrow's a leg day. Tomorrow's a cardio day for me. I also do walking. The weather is absolutely gorgeous. So, I got to realize that you can have one day in a blue moon, and it's just to celebrate, and you need to celebrate. We all need to celebrate. If you hear anything I'm saying today, that's what the whole Easter message is all about. Is if you want to read something that's one of the most inspirational things, and it's short, it's a short sermon, a short Easter sermon. No, it's the short sermon or the Easter sermon by St. John Chrysostom. And I'll tell you what, I discovered that about 3 years ago. And for me, that is without a doubt one of the most inspiring, uplifting, positive, powerful Easter messages that I've ever read, that I've ever heard, that I've ever listened to. And it is just full of hope. It's full of promise. It's full of great expectations. It's not about lamentation. It's not about condemnation. It's about not judgmentalism. It's all about the victory that the Lord Jesus won by rising from the dead and vanquishing those two dreaded evil foes, death and sin, for all eternity. Amen. That's my Easter message for all you that care to listen, okay? But the real wonderful Easter message, if you're interested, is, again, a wonderful sermon by St. John Chrysostom, one of the early church fathers, patristic fathers, if you're interested. So anyway, there you have it. So TSC, Heart of a Champion, TSC Challenge, week 7 in the bag. And I'm hoping to kind of see how this week 8 goes. Week 8 is going to be kind of interesting. I've made some really strong progression in this program. And I think the other thing I would say about going back to the TSC thing is, if you ever get a bottle of shampoo or some other product and it'll tell you how to use it, and then it says, and then, if you aren't satisfied with the results, then reapply it, And I think that's the whole message, and I kind of alluded to that last week, is that it's not so much doing a 10-week thing and like everything else, then you say, well, I'm done, now I go back to the way I was. What this has done, it has established a foundational routine that you can build upon. And from there, I think that's where the real long-term success will really start to show up, is by staying with this. You know what you're supposed to do workout-wise on a Monday. It's not that complicated. It's not that hard. You just got to do it. It doesn't take that long. And once you kind of know the routines, it's not that bad. With the set of weights that I have, power blocks, you can check those out. Those are progressive. And so, when you get to a point where you know that the weight that you were using originally is now a little too easy, you can increase it by 2.5 pounds to 5 pounds. I mean, it's incremental, it's very doable, and you can build on that. So that's the secret, I think. And again, that's what I learned last year. It wasn't, trying to lose 30 pounds. That was my first original goal. And I've done that many times before. I'd go, well, my first goal is to lose 30 pounds. So I lose the 30 pounds and I feel great. And then I would just quit, and I've done that so many times. Well, this last time I haven't quit. I've had a couple of setbacks. I've had a couple of times where things didn't work out perfectly, but I didn't let it destroy my program. I just kept going. I said, okay, I didn't walk yesterday. Okay, I didn't eat right yesterday, but today I can do those things today. Okay, so that's been the lesson that I've learned. And so if you have a day like today is not gonna. I'm not gonna look at today with all the chocolate cakes and all the goodies that I'm going to enjoy. I probably might have to reach for a. It's been a long time since I've had to get an antacid, and I hope I don't even have to do it tonight. But, if that happens, okay, I'll say, all right, you celebrated, you overindulged a bit maybe. But tomorrow is another day, and you get up and you go back to real life, But you got to celebrate. That's all I wanted to say. You got to allow yourself those kinds of celebrations, because let me tell you, I've done these things several times in my life. And when I've been on a diet, quote unquote, or something like this, and you go to a party and you sit there in the corner and you go, well, I can't eat that, or I'm not eating that today, or that's not on my diet, or that's not on my new, everybody looks at you like, well, fine, be that way. And they leave you alone. They don't even want to talk to you. And they're like, go ahead, sit there in the dark and sulk, So I found that the thing that I like is I go and I eat everything, whatever I want. I don't think I'm going to, stuff myself because I don't feel good when I do that anymore. But I'm going to, if somebody has a piece of cake or pie or, some really good potato salad or something, or drinking some sweet tea. That's for you there, Angela and Eric, and all the people in the South there, sweet tea. All those wonderful things that we like to eat and drink and have a good time, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to look back and oh, I messed up my diet yesterday. I've done that before, and that's always drove me to despair, and despair always leads me to quit. And I'm just haven't quit. I've kind of said, yeah, I enjoyed yesterday. I really did. That was the first time I really think I made a breakthrough. As I ate a whole bunch of stuff that I knew I wasn't supposed to. It was like maybe about 4 or 5 months into my program last year. And I started thinking, I go, but did you enjoy it? I said, I did enjoy it. Well, okay. Well, fine. Now get back to your routine. Get back out there and walk an hour. Go out there and walk 2 hours if you can. Go walk 6 miles instead of 4 miles. Walk 6 miles. You got the time. You can do it. So that's all I'm saying is, and plus my quote unquote, when I say diet, my food or my meals that I eat pretty healthy now, and I enjoy the food that I eat. I still enjoy that. It's not like it's a drudgery and I got to eat this stuff. No, and a lot of it I look at it as healthy, life-giving, healing food that also tastes good. So, and maybe I'll share some recipes sometime soon. Okay. Anyway, enough's enough. Go out there. Have a great Easter Sunday with you and your family. And I know, and that for us includes, maybe, boy, wouldn't it be great if you had a buddy or a friend, you could go out on the veranda. Griff Griffin, he was an old buddy of mine, and we served together in Bosnia. He was one of our chaplains, and he was a great guy. Good old Southern Baptist boy. I used to be a Southern Baptist one time. But anyway, he'd say, let's go out. He'd say, Chaplain, let's go out to the veranda and have a cigar. So we went out and had a cigar, or a pipe. And, but today is a day to celebrate. So please do that. Enjoy. Happy Easter. Bye-bye. How do I turn this thing off? See you now.